He seems to know which way a stock will move before God does. You know what? I cut to the chase. I found the ex-trophy wife, right? Comes to me with the files, with the pillow talk. Yeah, you know what? He's really smart. He's smart enough to know how to buy the information, so he knows which way a stock is going. And by
sure,
the way,
the entire stock market in your book shows this now. At the top is an inside game, just like a casino.
Yeah, I mean, they've got their thumb on the wheel. The cards are marked. And the thing is, there's no such thing. They say, well, what do we care? The answer is there's no such thing as a victimless billionaire. When a guy like Cohen makes $7 billion, it's because you lost it. He was selling stocks he knew would blow apart to pension funds, railroad pension funds, teacher funds. He was buying stocks off small investors who had no idea that some stock was about to be the target.
And instead of him going to jail, we bail out the derivatives and then go into debt for them. So what should happen to these people? Where is it going to end? I mean, just like Penn State, are their crimes invincible?
Well, it seems to be. I got to tell you, when I went through and got the Goldman scam with the Greek government in the old days, I remember I used to be a government racketeering investigator. Well, we would read people their rights and handcuff them and walk them out of the buildings. And now these guys get bonuses. And they're arrogant. They're so arrogant about it. They know that no one is going to touch them. You know, Obama said when Jamie Dimon of J.P. Morgan was given a gigantic bonus off of our bailout money, Obama, and someone raised it, Obama said, well, why should we punish Jamie Dimon? Well, if you don't know that, Obama, why are you president? And if you don't, and you know, and the answer, and the other question is why is Jamie Dimon punishing us with our money?
Well, that's my next issue, Greg, is as you know, elaborate on this. They have, Goldman Sachs and others have gotten their people in every top regulatory position. So where you were, that and putting people in jail years ago, should have mentioned that, now they've put their own alumni.
Yeah, I mean, in Greece, when you're talking about this flim-flam, and remember that American investors were scammed here for billions. Instead of going to jail, Goldman Sachs put their own man in now as the new head of the Greek economy. So you commit the crime, and basically these are the guys who benefit from the fire sale, and they've set the fire. And they are now buying up all these assets all over Greece and Spain and Italy, as these governments have been told the only thing you can do is sell off everything you own. And they're picking it up for peanuts. They're devaluing these people's currency so they cannot buy their own.
No. Max Kaiser was in Greece, went into another hotel, and there was Forbes and Steve Forbes, and he bragged, hey, this is a great deal. He knew Max from when he was a stockbroker. He said, this is a great deal. We're going to blitzer this country and take the whole thing over for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, they're tearing it apart like they're ripping off turkey legs and chewing into them. I mean, it is the best deal. I mean, basically, you have entire countries now for sale.
All right, stay there. I want to hear then where you see this going. Stay there. Long segment coming up, then your phone calls, 800-259-9231. Greg Palast, Vulture's Picnic. Powerful book. I just got it. I can't wait to read it. It isn't even out yet. It comes out next week.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Hi folks, this is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow, step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
Your phone calls are coming up. Greg's leaving us here in about 10 minutes, but I don't have him back up for a full hour once the book is actually out. And once I've had a chance to read it again, it just came in 2 days ago, and I've already scanned over. It looks like one of his best. Don't forget, tonight I'm going to have a special expose going back over the admitted pedophile scandals in Republican administrations mainly, and at the Bohemian Grove where the Republicans are at. You know, I'm not a fan of the Democrats either. Bill Clinton, raping women, settling rape cases and the rest of it. And Barney Frank, certainly underage call boys, Democrat. But with Republicans, Greg, let me bring that point up before we look forward where this whole global system's going as you stare into your tea leaves or crystal ball there from your research as an investigative journalist, former federal fraud investigator, you name it. What do you make of the reason that, or you might disagree, that there is such a history of pedophilia and also closeted gay sex by so many Christian conservative leaders and mainline Republicans? What's happening there?
You know what? I'm an investigator, and I always follow the money. I know it may seem odd when you're talking about, personal perversions, but the thing is that it's amazing how much those with power and money believe that they are immune from the rest of the rules, moral and legal, that bind the rest of us. There's an actual sense when people get into the stratosphere of finance, as we see, or those who hang out with them, like the politicians who are their toy boys, that they actually feel immune. And when you meet these people, and by the way, I went to the University of Chicago with a lot of these sharks. I was actually a student of Milton Friedman, so I know these guys. And they actually feel that they're kind of the Ubermensch. They are supermen above the laws that apply to you and I. So if they have urges or desires, that's they're different than you and me.
But I've never had those. But here's the deal. I've never had those urges. So I don't understand why it pops up so much with this group. It's just something's wrong with these people is what I'm saying. It's.
Well, it's very interesting because I go back to Chinatown, where, of course, the evil head of the power and water company, and believe me, I know some of these guys, he in the end of the film, he has raped his own daughter. And his line is, I did it because I can. And it's almost a kind of perverse joy that they are different than the rest of us. Now, it's true. I must admit, I mean, it's hard for me to understand because, I mean, I'm not claiming any special high moral ground, but I just don't have such strange urges. But I'll tell you this, it's almost like they live in this perverted world. If you've just shafted the entire Greek nation, then picking up a 7-year-old boy may just seem like an appetizer to you. I think it
no, I think that's it. I think, Greg, I think you've hit on something here. I think they are morally, spiritually bankrupt, and it's that they've done so much evil, they're cursed with all of this stuff that they're into. I think you just hit it. And you look at sociopaths, psychopaths, sadists, other groups, that's the only time they feel alive is when they're doing something really twisted. I think, well, obviously you're a criminologist. You've hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah, I think that this whole sense of impunity and almost a desire to prove that you can get away with something, and almost a childish, when you meet these people, it's almost a sick, childish desire to kind of push it into your face, which is what's happening now. When you read these documents, it's almost like they're daring you. Like I say in chapter 12 of Vulture's Picnic, and then also like I'm dealing right now with investigating one of the biggest donors to the Republican Party, who's spending his time, basically stealing all the money for AIDS medicine in Africa. Now, when you pull a stunt like that, what is your moral? Is there any moral limit? Is there anything you won't do? I just was in Congo last week where there's a cholera epidemic, and the guy's taking their money away for the clean water that they need to end the epidemic. Once you get that, I mean, heck, a little. So rape,
where are they going?
A little sodomy.
Yeah. So where are they going then?
Well, it's hard to say because, like, you take a guy like Paul the Vulture Singer and one of the characters of Vulture's Picnic, and I didn't call him vultures. The bankers who work with him and who profit from him call him Vulture. Maybe his mother does too. It's like there is no end. That is, he's worth about $4 billion. Why is he continuing this? What does he need that extra money for? Oh, take Charles Koch. I did an investigation of him years ago, and from the Koch brothers, he was skimming oil off the Osage Indian Reservation. You'll really like this one, Alec. This is right. You'll it's in Vulture's Picnic. We have a tape recording of him that I got from an FBI agent. And one of his chiefs is asking why he's stealing money from the Osage Indian Reservation. It's about $100 per native in the native and the Indian-owned wells. He's already a billionaire. Why is he taking $100 from a poor native? And the answer, Koch says himself, I want what's coming to me, and that's all of it. In other words, there's no moral limit. It's almost like he's got the billions. He's going to steal another $100 from some poor Indian. And then you ask, well, so some weird perversion that crosses his mind, to him it's just ordering another appetizer off the menu.
Yeah, it's amazing. And these globalists have sold us, or attempting to sell us, their worldview that torture is good, secret arrest. But, looking at George Soros, I've seen the 60 Minutes piece where I always heard about it, but I actually saw it last year. We played it here from 10 years ago. And he says, they say, so you help round up your own people and give them to the Nazis and take their property. He goes, yeah. And he goes, and I learned a lot from that. If I wouldn't have, somebody else would. I'm proud that I'm a survivor. And it just shows some kind of psychopathic disconnect. Because, you tend to usually go after the right-wingers. But what do you think of Obama being financed by the very same people and the whole political field right now? I mean,